Hi, you're listening to the Behind the Scoop podcast brought to you by Scoop Empire. Today, as we usually do, we're going to be talking to a very interesting person as they discuss their personal life and things you might not know about.
الشباب سليمان.
اسمي مروان.
هو بابا كان بيعمل معاكوا فيلم؟
تفتكري دي ممكن تبقى طريقته الغير صحية في إن هو يميزك عنها؟
Hello everybody, you're listening to another episode of the Behind the Scoop podcast. I'm Omar and I'm not alone in the studio. I have the lovely actor, Sedky Sakhr.
Hello folks.
How are you?
I'm fine, how are you, Omar?
I'm good, thank you very much for asking. I have a question. Do you like superheroes?
Superheroes. I love superheroes.
Okay, so every superhero has an origin story.
Sure.
I want to know about yours.
My origin story?
Yes.
Oh, wow. What a...
Yeah, I had to go there.
Well, I'm not sure. I don't consider myself a superhero, that's for starters.
Okay.
But my origin was very similar to this setup. I started with a radio program with, I don't know if you heard of Auntie Lulu, Lubna Abdelaziz.
Age 15, right?
Exactly.
I did my research.
Oh, all right, amazing. So this is basically how I started, in a room similar to this one,
Okay.
with microphones, just vocal performance mainly, and then it started. I did some theater during college time, and then I was like into the independent film scene, a short movie here.
That's 2002 when you first started out and the first trope that you joined.
Yes, exactly.
I've heard as well that you've started. You went to college, university, of course, engineering.
True.
Like most of us creatives.
Like most of us, like most actors.
So, was that peer pressure or like the usual stereotypical mom and dad, just you have to either be a doctor or an engineer, or because I saw a very sharp turn after about 17 years of engineering, so what happened?
Years. Yeah, or maybe a total of 17 years if you count the studying the university years. No, I used to love engineering, and I used to love these like mathematics, physics, all these subjects and all this field in general. And of course it was supported from my parents' side. There was always this idea of should I study acting academically instead of doing that? Should I join an like art school? Or I was into drawing as well, and it wasn't a pressure from my parents, but let's say it was a preference.
Okay.
And it went really well with my own preference as well, because I really enjoy that field. And I was a very successful student. I mean, I graduated with like straight A's and all of that. And I loved that field. And when I started working, it was out of passion, really. I really enjoyed it. And I was good at my job.
May I ask which field of engineering did you?
It was telecommunications.
Telecommunications.
Yes.
And did you, through the experience and what you learned in telecommunications, do you use anything of that into your acting later on?
Well, I have to say, engineering kind of formats your brain in a way.
I know, because I was an architect major.
Oh, there
and
you go.
I left architecture the moment I got out of uni. I went straight for like media and radio mostly.
I see.
So I have that connection there. But telecommunication, for architecture has an eye for detail mostly.
Yes.
Telecommunications, what do you use there?
Well, also an eye for details, very structured thinking, very structured like problem-solving approach for problem solving. It makes like good project managers. And this is actually my practical experience as well during my corporate years. After I graduated, I worked in like corporates and telecom corporates and all of that. So this also helped build me up in this project manager mentality, which really is helping me every day. Because the arts field, we're very bohemian, we're very laid back,
chill.
chill. but the corporate life, really, it's a machine that just works, and the output is reliable. So that's kind of balancing my bohemian artistic life in a way, so that I get things done instead of just, you know.
So applying that into your acting career, essentially you structure when to work exactly, how to know your lines, when you're working or doing a scene.
Yes, in a way, it puts sort of discipline in your life, like you need certain outputs at certain times. I get back to like with deliverables for my, I don't know, for like today, for instance.
Okay.
Right, let's meet. All right, tomorrow 12 p.m. Let's do that. All of that. It's not like up in the air. So it's more of a structure to my life, really.
Okay, and you started acting in 2019 officially, like in 2 shows, I think, in the more mainstream.
Yeah, maybe yes, like approaching the commercial scene.
And left engineering then. By then.
I left engineering then, exactly.
Okay, how did your parents take that?
Oh, that was a big moment. That was a big moment in our lives, really.
Walk me through it. How did you, like, Mom, Dad, I need you to sit down for a moment?
Yeah. Well, of course, the whole process happened like without telling them at first. All my the thinking process. And then when it was like decision time, I think I told them after I quit.
Oh, okay.
I think I'm trying to remember now, but I think it was right after, because I didn't want to get any influence that might change my mind.
Putting it as a matter-of-fact situation.
Yes. So
that's not usually a good one when you get a
yeah,
reaction.
exactly, because I was really dreading their reactions. But to my surprise, my father was super supportive.
Strange. Mine was the other way around.
Yeah.
So my mom was super supportive.
Oh, yeah?
My dad knows. And strangely, my mom is an engineer as well.
Oh, okay.
So my mom was like, I know you're creative
not one of us.
architecture. So yeah, you can do it. My dad was, no, what are you doing?
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, I expected otherwise as well. But no, my father he's a writer, he's a novelist.
Nice.
And he paints, so he's a very artistic man, and
so that he knows you're one of
so
them.
he knows, and I think well, he actually he was teaching. His profession was teaching, and I think he only started writing after he retired.
Okay.
So he kind of postponed his dream until he felt like he's done with all his responsibilities and like looking after us and bringing this family together and everything. So I think he really understands what it means to just pursue your dreams and your passions.
Yeah.
So instantly he was very supportive, and he told me, you were really unhappy, and I'm glad you took the step, and don't worry, you're good at this thing, you're good at the arts field in general. My mother was super scared, super worried. It's like, but you could always do it on the side, and like your job, the steady income and all of that.
Until the first paycheck came in.
No, actually, true. Well, the first paycheck wasn't that promising, I have to tell you. But until I think my father talked her through.
Okay.
So like the next day, she called me and she said, I'm really sorry for my reaction. It was just a shock. It was really instantly the following day. I'm really sorry about my reaction. I was just shocked, and I completely support you in whatever choice you make. We are behind you, both of us. And they were super sweet, super cute. I'm really grateful to have them like really supporting me.
So she's not a #1 fan now.
100%.
Awesome.
100%. Like likes all the photos, all the posts, shares everything, comments on everything. Like
Stereotypical moms.
Yeah.
We love them.
Amazing.
And since then,
yes.
Any regrets?
Oh, zero.
Zero regrets.
Zero. Oh, I'm so grateful and thankful. Really, I think this was the best decision of my life.
Awesome. And I think there are 3 that are huge right now. Revo,
Yes.
which is a very unconventional kind of show, and I want to
True.
talk about that specifically
True.
for a certain reason.
Yeah.
Beneath Wish.
بميت وش was like, yes,
Before that.
was before that.
اتزان.
اتزان, that's the latest, exactly.
So, because from what I've seen while doing with my research, I see that your love of acting is only matched by your love of music.
Oh yes, true.
So, if you could live without one of them,
Oh wow,
would
that's
it be
very
first?
hard, man. That's a very hard question. Live without them? You know, people usually ask me like, if you're gonna make it as a career, which one of them would it be? But live without them?
Yeah, well, essentially it's the same idea. If you're gonna full on just concentrate on one, and that's gonna be it.
You know, because you
don't have time for the other.
You can't live without music, man. What are you trying to do? No, you really can't live without music.
Okay.
But as a career, like my priority right now is acting.
Okay.
And music supports it profoundly. Whether it's playing music, whether it's singing, it's something. And musicals, for example, has always been a dream for me. So they go like peas and carrots, really. Yeah.
And because from the videos I watched, you play very unconventional ones. The ukulele, the harmonica. I think there's a clarinet sometimes.
Yeah,
as well.
I was trying to learn clarinet as well.
Is there a favorite out of these? I think it's the harmonica as well.
Harmonica has to be, yes. It's super personal. It's amazing.
So are we going to see an album soon?
An album? Oh,
an EP at least?
Well, as I said, music will always be in my life. It's not my major focus, like professionally, like career-wise. But like
maybe in the future.
Maybe in the future. And like there is a collab right now we're working on with Kمان, the band. We'll be releasing a single soon. I'm singing and playing the harmonica in the track. So stay tuned. and there might be other collabs along the way. So let's
You never
see.
know.
You never know.
So mixing that with acting, we'll go back to Revo.
Yes.
Because it's a very, again, as I said, unconventional kind of show compared to what's out in the scene at the moment.
True.
How did you approach that? And were you contacted first because of your love of both music and?
Surprisingly not.
Okay.
Surprisingly, I was just contacted for another role, not the role I was playing, a role of a character that is not part of the band, so had nothing to do with music, and then it happened just
Naturally.
natural. I think there were discussions between like the director, the writer, the production team, and actually Amir Eid himself, because we weren't close back then, but he knew that we knew each other from the music field, music scene. So he knew I played music.
Like I said, I imagine like there's a phone call going, Sedky does music, you know that, right?
Yeah, exactly. I think he was the one that brought it to the table. It's like, guys, why are you casting Sedky for this role? He's a musician. Let's make use of that. And then I kind of like made my way up to this character. Completely independent from me. I didn't know about it. It just they offered the other role, and I was ecstatic. It's like, that is an amazing role. How it's written, and the fact that it plays the piano. And I mean, as a kid, that's what I learned. That's the instrument I learned. So it was really magical.
Awesome. And moving from that to Itizan, can you tell us a little more about Itizan? Your transition to that, because every role is pretty different.
Yes, absolutely.
So tell me more about that one.
So in Revo I was depressed, and I was a patient suffering from severe depression. And now in Itizan I'm a psychiatrist. The other one, like on the other side of the table.
Yeah.
That was very interesting for me to try and see how to go about playing that character. And the thing with psychiatrists, they have to always be like non-biased. They have to be at a distance from their patients.
But empathetic at the same time.
But empathetic at the same time, exactly. And in this role, this character, not only does he have to be empathetic, but he has to be in love with his patient,
which is a big no-no.
Which is a big no-no, exactly. And that's what's interesting. All these like contradictions and all these taboos.
Juxtapositions.
Yes.
Okay.
And how this shouldn't show in our sessions, but the viewer should feel it in a way, and it should appear in a way. So there was very like subtleties in the performance, or like nuances that I was very it was very intriguing for me. It's like, how am I gonna go about it, and like how would I explore such a character?
And what do you look for in a character, in a role?
Definitely a challenge.
Okay.
Hopefully something new every time, and really something that fires me up. You know, it's if you understand the character and you really, well, basically you can really find something that fires you up in with every character. Anything at all. You can find something that you can relate to that really fires you up. So that's what I always try and look for.
Okay, and is there a certain actor that you haven't played opposite that you want to?
Oh, many, of course. I mean, I love Megan Kidwani, for example. I'd love to play opposite to him. And Farag, for instance. I mean, we kind of met in a couple of scenes, but that was like, previously it was a very brief scene. But no, I'd love to actually have a proper role opposite him. Yeah.
Is there an actor that you haven't worked with that you want to work with in the future?
Well, I would. Well, these are people I would consider. I haven't worked with really.
Okay. How about, because you've been really rising up in the past 5 years, have you seen the world of cinema or the world of TV shows evolve around you in that short period of time, or has it been stagnating at the same time? Because 2020 must have been like a different year to work with compared to other years. Absolutely.
Well, I think cinema is the thing that really was affected the most with COVID. There was some sort of recession, like worldwide, really. Even like film production that year was very, very minimal, very poor. And it's picking up now again. And then there is the platforms, like how they're like in the scene very strongly. This is something that has been, we've been witnessing some rise in. But I think it's a positive, yes, it's a very positive addition to the scene, because now we have series
coming out from left, right, and center.
Exactly, all across, like all around the year, and we're not restricted by 30 episodes, which is the season of Ramadan. We're now, if the story can be told in it needs to be told in 6 episodes, 10 episodes, doesn't matter. Which makes it a tighter story, and it makes the whole production more efficient.
Which do you prefer working on, a series or a movie?
Well, each one has its charm, really.
For me personally, I like it when people work on series specifically because it fleshes out the character much more, instead of being constricted of the 2-hour, 3-hour runtime movie. So do you see that happening later? Are we going to see a return of a golden age of TV? Because that's happening outside.
I think it is happening. But I have to say, when I always think of what made me love this, it's movie magic. You always say it's movie magic, and so cinema has its charm that will always remain. You know, like, I don't know,
charming us.
Charming, yes.
And because again, for your love of music, are we going to see you in a musical anytime soon?
I'm gonna say I'm hoping yes.
Okay.
And but let's see how this is gonna.
Last 2 questions,
please.
Question 1.
Shoot.
What are you doing next? And question 2, does it involve Muhammad Salah? The look again. We spoke of it off air, but again, I had to bring it up.
Yeah. I get that all the time. Yes, I can see a resemblance, and like everybody can see a resemblance. Yeah. And I mean, let's hope. I mean, if there is like
perfect timing, it's now.
Yes, exactly. If there's like a movie about his life, I'd love to be playing that. And what's next?
Yes.
We're actually we're shooting Revo Part 2 right now, season 2. So let's hope we like rise to the expectations of the viewers. So you can expect that soon. And I'll be filming a short movie in January. I don't think I can reveal much about it. And there's also a feature, also in 2023. But I do not have. I cannot share.
You're not sure
right
if
now. Yes.
That's the thing with everything right now.
Unfortunately,
I understand.
I was hoping I could like give you a.
But you're super excited. That's the most
Yes.
important part. Well, thank you very much for your time. I really appreciate it. Hopefully, you're gonna get the Muhammad Salah role and much better things along the way. I wish the best for you, and thank you very much for being here.
Thank you so much, Omar, for having me. That has been fantastic.
Thank you. And of course, you can catch out every podcast on every streaming service, Spotify, and everything else. Of course, check us out later. Bye.
Perfect.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Omar. That was very nice and smooth.
Thank you very much for tuning in. Check out this podcast and others on our website, scoopempire.com, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Music, and every streaming service you know.